backs. Who's separating themselves right now?
I don't know if anybody's separating themselves. I told all of those guys, Akeem, we kind of know what Akeem can do. I think we got to do a great job as a staff is really game planning for him. You see him playing a little bit more in the slot and doing some of those things. But I think right now, you look at Akeem, Raheem, and maybe David Yancey is really coming along. But I think those three guys right now, Keontae just had an ankle injury, but those three guys are probably the guys that we're focusing a lot of the reps on.
What do you like about Raheem? I mean, you've been able to see him now for a year pretty much in that role.
Well, when I got him last year, he was still in that receiver mode, which is a little bit different. He progressed throughout the season. I think the thing that he brings is he's a little bit more stout than a guy like Akeem. He's able to run in between the tackles a little bit more, but he has to focus on staying low, and he wants to play so fast all the time, and that's where the track kind of crosses over. But I think a guy like him brings a little bit of physical play to your room with a guy who has the ability to play fast as well.
Would he be the combination of speed and power that you're kind of looking for?
You hope that's what he develops into.
Just your standpoint of the relationship Akeem and Raheem have. Akeem just told me he claims he's football fast and Raheem's track fast. Just talk about those two guys and the relationship they have.
I told both of those guys is they have to be leaders for us. We got to develop some leadership on our football team, and both of those guys being seniors, they both are fast. When they both get on the field, they're both fast. But I want those guys to be leaders.
Who's faster?
I mean,
technically, do you ever have them race, or obviously from a track standpoint, Raheem would have it?
I think Raheem has some times that are pretty legit. I don't know what Akeem would run if he went out there and ran 100.
You guys have been used the helmet cam today. Do you guys plan on using that more as practice goes on?
I don't know much about that whole deal. I know they asked Raheem to wear it today. I'm sure you'll see other positions in it.
What do you like about Keontae Green? He's getting pretty good, aside from today getting the injury. But
well, you look at a guy who's built low to the ground like he is, and especially in this league, we need guys that are going to be able to, in goal line situations, short yardage situations, a guy who can come in and lean forward and gain 2 yards, and I think that's what he brings. He's very, very compact and very well built, to the ground.
He's a little different than Raheem.
A little bit of change of a pace type of guy, but I think he's a guy that when you get him inside the tackles, he can bring a physical presence.
What do you need out of this running game?
Production, and that's first of all, I told those guys I want to develop an every down back. Last year we tried to do it more by situation, and it gets hard to manage. And I told everybody I'd like to come out of spring with a number one guy, somebody who can protect, run routes, and run the football, and that's what we're striving for.
With that, do you like the depth you have as a whole with this group?
I think the depth carried over a little bit from last year. I think they know what to expect, and that's what I like. I don't have to coach work ethic. I don't have to coach all of those little things, but I don't know if we have depth yet, but we're working towards that.
Are you going to be able to come out of the spring with one guy, you think, from what you see now?
We'll see.
That's the question, right?
Yeah.
How about Yancey? What does he bring? What do you need to see from him?
Yancey it's funny. Coach Sheep says it a lot. He said he's just, I don't know how fast he is, but he's not slow. He's kind of just that perfect speed. I think the one thing that he has is vision. He has great vision. He's playing a lot more confident and faster than he did last year. If you look at how he played last year as opposed to this year, I'm a little bit shocked too. I think he's impressed some people. I know we talk about him in our offensive staff room.
We've heard a lot of the staff talk about accentuating kind of what you have in each guy. It sounds like you want them all in one guy.
I think that's always the goal, but that doesn't mean you can't develop multiple guys. You have to be able to develop 2 or 3 running backs in the Big Ten. But I'd like to say, okay, this is the guy who's going to get the majority of the snaps.
Would it be safe to say Akeem is kind of the outside runner and Raheem is the inside runner?
Not at all. Not at all. I'd love for Akeem to pop an inside zone. I just think Akeem's role, and this is what I told him, is going to expand. It's not going to get cut down. There have been guys that we've coached in the past who you can get them in matched up with a safety, or you can put them in the backfield. They just create all types of problems. All these speed sweep things, and I mean, his package is going to be enough each week. Trust me.
Can you create a situation where you have Raheem and Akeem on the field at the same time?
I'd love that situation. I'm sure everybody would love to see that situation. So that's something that we've thought about definitely.
What kind of role is Brandon Cotton going to have? It's more of a power type of player.
I don't know yet. I think injuries have limited him a little bit in spring, and I think that's part of it. You need a guy that's going to be durable, and that's what I keep preaching to Cottom is sometimes he has to learn how to fight through some of those things. But I think his injury was legitimate, but it kind of put him behind a little bit. And with the depth, you may not get another shot, so we'll see.
Where are you at from a fullback development point of view?
Well, I think Jonathan Curry's doing both now, tight end and fullback. Very, very encouraged with how he's looked so far. And same thing with Yancey. Yancey's still that crossover guy. You'll see him line up at fullback, and I think that gives us an advantage as an offense because we can do things with them at the fullback position. But I think you got two guys right now, David Yancey and Jonathan Curry, who are really competing for that spot.